In this lesson, we will finish off the fuselage, and we're going to start this with a little bit of discussion on how to maintain the edge sharpness of our edge details. Before we do that, though, I want to bring up a great Digital Tutors course called Professional Tips for Modeling Complex Shapes. This gentleman here, Paul Connor, he does a great job talking about different ways of doing things, beveling, and he has the term fencing, which I absolutely love. I think it's a great term. And what it is beveling is a simple thing where I'm going to click on that edge and double click on it to select the edge, and then I'm going to go to the Edit Mesh menu and go down to Edges. Actually, I'm going to go down to Components, and I'm going to click on Bevel, and I'll click Apply just to show you what that does. Now what that does is that creates a bevel, which is really nice. It gives you a very nice edge here, which you can then sharpen up by clicking on fraction and dragging left and right. And that's really great. You can also add segments. Now the problem with beveling comes in, and this has been an issue. Let's see if well, actually, no, I think that looks about right. The problem was that sometimes, especially with the bevel command, it will strike another polygon along the center line here, but it appears to not be doing that. What a good thing. So I can double click here. I'll double click on this edge here and click Apply again. And that's going to put another bevel on there. The other way, the way called fencing, simply uses a multi-cut tool or the Insert Edge Loop tool, which, by the way, is still available in the Mesh Tools, if you're one of those people that likes the old tool, which I kind of am. I like that tool. And what it does is it allows you to create an asymmetrical bevel if you want, and fence in this edge. So I can click here, and then if I wanted it to be a little bit smoother, I could pull this distance pull this a little bit further away from the edge, like so. Now we can see that our edges are so much sharper, okay? And we don't have anything going across the center line. And so those are the two methods that we're going to use. I'm going to basically, I like to fence my edges. That's just kind of the way. Like I said, the bevel tool, I use the bevel tool in it. If I do a 2-segment bevel, what it has always done, actually let's try that straight off. If I click on here and choose bevel, it also means that you've got to change the fraction quite a bit. Again, it's a question of how I'm going to go ahead and use fencing using the multi-cut tool. And I'll just fence in these edges. Of course, the problem with that is that with the multi-cut tool, it can sometimes be a little bit tricky to get it right where you want it. There. All right, so now if I click on 3 and I go to Object Mode and press Q to bring up the Select tool, hit 3, and then I'll turn off Wireframe on Shaded and deselect, I can see that my cowling and my front prop area are really quite sharp and quite smooth, and that is the way we want it. So I'm going to bring back my template, because what I want to do next, actually first I'm going to go to Delete History, because what I want to do next is I want to begin to work with the cockpit, and I would like to have one more edge going down here, so we'll use our multi-cut tool, cut here, and next I'm going to cut. What I want to do is I'm going to sharpen an edge, and this is another reason to use this particular technique. I'm going to cut my edge around the outside of the cockpit. like so. And I'm going to cut that corner there. And I'll cut and drag that up like so. Cut here. I'll do that. I'll cut that there and then cut here. Hit return. And I'll pull that like so. Hit return. Now here, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to start here, down in this bottom corner. And I'm going to cut right along the inside edge there. And then I'm going to close it up by cutting across like so. Hit return. Then I'm going to cut here and cut there and cut along the back side there. Hit return. Do the same thing here. Now what that's going to do is that's going to create a sharp edge on this edge there, and then I'm going to grab these two edges and I'm just going to hit delete. Control delete or delete. And what we'll have is we've now got a sharp edge on our cockpit. I'm going to grab the faces that make up this bottom edge, that make up the bottom part of the cockpit, and I'm going to extrude them. And I'm going to extrude them. Whoops. Make sure, oops, I've got too many selections. One thing that is a little bit tricky is that Maya wants to keep the selection, keep your last selection. So in other words, if I've got a set of faces and I have them selected, and I go to select, say, vertices, next time I go back to faces, my original selection is going to be still in force. And that is useful to a certain extent, but it's also can be a little bit difficult if you don't remember that you've got a selection active. Can cause problems. Anyway, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to extrude this down. That's what extrude there, and just push straight down. I'm going to push it straight down until it intersects with that part that I made before, that this piece that I extruded, that I revolved. And I'm going to go back to faces. I'm going to grab these faces here. I'm going to delete them. And then I see that I've got one. I got one there. That's good. I got those there. That's also good. I'll go ahead and delete that there. And I can see I'm going to need one group of edges to match up here. And so I will grab that there. And I will delete these three. So. And now I can see that I've got these edges matching up. And now it should just be a matter of, hopefully, target welding. If it will cooperate. There we go. Just got to make sure you get the right pairs. Let's go to 4. Sorry, go to 6. Let's try that with X-ray. Come on. And hold down the shift key to grab those. Those are the two that I want. Merge to center. Now, if that happens, we can move them out of the way a little bit. And basically, some of the tricky part is just figuring out which are the right edges to be dealing with. Grab that. Go there. That one can go down to there. And this one, hopefully. Select those two. Nope, it says I've got 3 selected because the last selection may remained active. Got 2 and merge to center. All right, so now what I've done is I've created a hole, and that again, I've gone and created kind of a flue whereby we can have any rosin that we wind up printing with can basically flow out of the center of the model. It saves on rosin, and it will make things look better in the long run. So basically, in this lesson, I've finished the basic fuselage, and I think off camera, what I will do is I will shore up this edge so that it actually will be sharp when we wind up finally finishing the model. And I'll do that off camera. In the next lesson, we will model the propeller.